Welcome back, everybody. How is everybody doing? Back with another video, and this is time to code. Alright, this is time to code. It's time to do something. It's time to do something in Django. That's right. This is a video about Django. And let's just get into it. Straight away. You know, every time I try to do a good intro, every time I mess it up. I need to like focus on the intro. I need to think about a better intro for my videos. Also, I need to go full screen. There we go. Do the magic. Alright, Django. It's the Django. Alright, so yeah, this is what I've done yesterday, I guess. I did this yesterday. And today, writing your first Django app part 1. Let's learn by example. Throughout this tutorial, we'll walk you through the creation of a basic poll application. It will consist of 2 parts. Alright folks, we're going to be making a poll application. That is so cool. A public site that lets people view polls and vote in them. View polls and vote. Pretty simple. An admin site that lets you add, change, and delete polls. Alright, we'll assume you have Django installed already. I do. You can assume, you can continue assuming because your assumption is correct. So you can tell Django it's installed in which version by running the following command in a shell prompt indicated by the dollar prefix in a shell prompt. Let's see if we can run this in Visual Studio Code. Oh yeah, we can run this, definitely run this. I think I might have run this before. The Django. Alright, so I have Django 5.2.8 installed. And now what I want to do is open ChatGPT to understand what each part of this code does. Python-m the Django version. Please tell me what each part of this code does. Also, I'm running VS Code default terminal. The command python-m Django version is used to check the version of Django installed on your system. Let's break it down step by step. Python. This invokes the Python interpreter. It is telling the terminal to use Python to run a specific module or script. It is telling the terminal to use Python to run a specific module or script. Alright, if you're using Python and your system is configured Python 3. Whatever version we have, this will run the Python 3 whatever version we have interpreter. If you're using a virtual environment, it will use the Python version within that environment. -m. The -m flag. Alright, so this is a flag, folks. This is a flag. The -m flag stands for module. Alright, so it has a full form, module. It allows you to run a Python module as a script. It allows us to run a Python module as a script. Are we running something as a script? Instead of directly running a Python file, you use python-m module name. Oh, okay, -m. So the module name is Django, I guess, to run a module that is installed in a Python environment, instead of directly running a Python file. Okay. Alright, this is often used to run standard library modules or installed packages, like Django, directly from the command line. Yes, that is what we're doing. We're actually checking out the version of Django that we have installed. And that is where -m module helps us. It allows us to run the module as a script, instead of running it directly from a file. Django, this is the name of the module you're running. By using -m Django, You are telling Python to run the Django module which is installed on your system. It is as if you are invoking a command line tool provided by the Django package. I do not get that. -- version. This is a command line argument being passed to the Django module. When you run python -m -m Django -version, it tells Django to return its version number. This is a common command used to verify the version of a library or framework you are using. In summary, python -m Django -version checks the version of the Django framework installed in your Python environment by running the Django module and passing. Okay, Django is a module over here, and passing the -- version flag. This is a flag, and Django is a module here. Since you're using VS Code terminal is most likely running a shell such as PowerShell on Windows, or Bash on Mac operating system, or Linux. Yeah, this is Windows, so it's PowerShell. And it uses the default Python environment or virtual environment if activated, so when you run this command, it should execute the Python interpreter and the Django module showing the version of Django installed. It should execute the Python interpreter and the Django module. Yeah. Alright. Let us continue. Now that we know it's 5.2 point something, if Django is installed, you see the version of your installation. If it isn't, you'll get an error telling the module name Django. This tutorial is written for 5.2, which supports Python 3.10 and later. If the Django version doesn't match, you can refer to the tutorial for your version of Django by using the version switcher at the bottom right corner of this page. What I understand from this is that if it says here that it supports Python 3.10 and later, so I'm using 3.15, so that's later, right? It comes in later versions. So it's okay. And we have 5.2. But the point after that, I don't know. 5.2 point something. You can remember, alright. If you're using switcher at the bottom right corner of this page. If you're using an older version of Python, check what Python version can I use with Django. Find a compatible version of Django. Where to get help. If you're having trouble going through this tutorial, please head over to the Getting Help section of the FAQ. Creating a project. Okay, let's do this. If this is your first time using Django, yes it is, you'll have to take care of some initial setup. No problem. No problemo. Namely, you'll need to auto-generate some code that establishes a Django project. Auto-generate some code, okay. A collection of settings for an instance of Django. Including database configuration, Django-specific options, and application-specific settings. Well, that looks all fun. From the command line, cd into a directory where you'd like to store your code and create a new directory named Django tutorial. Okay, so first I need to cd into a directory, so I'm going to the downloads. Hold on. Do I create a new folder? Yeah, it does. So let's go to the downloads folder. cd, capital C, and then a colon. Is it a backslash? Users, backslash, n, backslash, downloads. Alright, we are in the downloads folder. And now we're going to make a directory called Django tutorial. mkdir. Alright, so if I go to my downloads folder, it says here that it has been created at this time, at this date. And there it is, Django tutorial. You can see that. Then run the following command, but first we need to understand what mkdir is. Django tutorial. Tell me what this is, each and every part of this. It's from the Django documentation. It is a simple command to create a directory folder. Alright? Another name for directory. No. Directory can be anything. We could be in a folder, we could be inside a file. I'm just going to call this a directory, but in this case we're talking about a folder. Yeah, let's break it down. mkdir stands for make directory. So make, mk for short, directory dir. Alright, make directory. This is a shell command used to create a new directory folder in the current working directory, which is downloads. That is our current working directory. We created a new folder in it. Make directory. We're creating another directory, a folder, which is a folder. Alright. So what I understand from this is that a directory is also a folder. So that means a folder is also a directory. Is that vice versa or isn't? Or it isn't? It is used across various operating systems like Linux, Mac operating system, and Windows and command prompt, PowerShell, or Bash. You're telling the terminal or command prompt to create a new folder. Alright, we know what happens after this. Then run the following command to bootstrap a new Django project. Bootstrap. Tell me what bootstrap means in this and explain each part of the code. Alright, bootstrap a new Django. Let's break down the term bootstrap. In this context, bootstrap refers to the process of setting up or initializing a new project with the necessary files, structure, and configuration to get started. Specifically, bootstrapping in software development generally means setting up the basic framework or infrastructure for a new project or application. Oh, okay. Bootstrap. Bootstrap a new Django project. So we're basically starting a new project with all the necessary things that we need in the project. We're going to have those if we bootstrap it. And by running this command, we're automatically bootstrapping, because when we run this command, we're going to get some files and stuff that's already needed to run it. It means creating the foundational files and directories that Django uses to organize a web application so you can start building a project on top if I get it. Now we need to move on to breaking down the command. First of all is Django-admin. Let me type that down. Django-admin, alright. Hold on, do I need to cd into the folder? I need to check that out. Currently I have nothing inside it. I might need to cd into that as well. cd users. No. It's in the C drive / users / and then downloads, and then I'm gonna go into Django. That's the name of the folder. Alright, I'm inside the folder. So because if I don't do that, it might create it in the downloads folder, which I don't want it to do. I want it to create it inside the Django tutorial folder. So first we're going to type Django admin -admin. What does this do? Let's find out. It's a command line, where is it? Utility that comes with Django. It provides several useful commands to manage and interact with your Django project. So it's a command line utility. I don't know what that means either. What is a command line utility? It's a program or tool that allows users to interact with a computer operating system. A tool that allows users to interact with the computer operating system by typing text commands into a terminal instead of using a graphical user interface. Alright. So we're going to type text into it. Alright, I get the story. So Django admin is a command line utility, so we're going to use that to type text into some sort of terminal to then perform some actions, because we're not going to have a graphical user interface. Okay, it is used to perform various administrative tasks related to Django, such as creating a new project, running development servers, migrating databases, etc. Servers and databases, okay. Django admin can be run globally if you have Django installed system-wide or within a virtual environment. So with Django, I guess I installed it system-wide. Or within a virtual environment where Django is installed. Start project. And now we move on to the second part of the code, which is start project. So we know that the first thing is a command line utility. That is basically a tool that is going to help us to write text into a terminal that will do some stuff after we give it a command. Start project without a space is the command that tells Django admin to create a new project. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. So this is the second part is the command that is telling Django admin. So this thing is telling Django admin to create a new project. Wow. Django start project is a Django specific command that sets up the necessary structure for a new project, including the main project folder, subdirectories, and configuration files. It essentially creates the basic skeleton of a Django project. Alright. That is what start project does. What does my site do? Yeah, the next part, my site. This is the name of the new Django project you're creating. Alright? Django will create a directory folder named MySite in your current directory. Inside this MySite directory, Django will generate several files including settings.py, urls.py, wsg.py, and manage.py. Is that supposed to be py pronounced as py or py? I don't know. Which are essential for running a Django project. You can choose any name for your project, but in this case, MySite is used as a common example. Django tutorial. Okay, so let's type MySite now. Is there a space? There is. I already typed that. The final thing is the name of the folder is a Django tutorial. Hold on. I'm already inside Django tutorial, right? Do I need to get out of this? Alright, so I think I might have to go back outside of the current working directory because the command already has the name of the project, which is Django tutorial, which is the folder name. It's automatically going to create all this stuff inside the project folder, so I just need to go back to the downloads folder, /users, / and then / downloads. And now, what was the first command? Python-admin. This was it, right? No, Django-admin. This guy, and then create something. Start project. My site. The name of the folder is going to be my site. This folder is going to be created inside this folder. And now, if I go into the downloads folder and then go inside the Django tutorial, I can see that the my site folder has been created. And my site has 5 files in it, as stated over here. And it also has manage, which is a file, separate file. Manage.py, yeah, there it is. There is a note here that we should read. You will need to avoid naming projects after built-in Python or Django components. Alright, I'm not going to do that. In particular, this means you should avoid using names like Django, which will conflict with Django itself. You know, I actually had an idea. I was thinking about something like that. Like, what happens if I try to name something after Django itself? So it says that there might be conflicts, there might be issues. Or test which conflicts with the built-in Python package. Alright, so we need to be careful with naming folders and files, alright? So we can just give it some weird stuff name. These files are manage.py. The first file that I see here is the manage.py file. It is a command line utility that lets you interact with this Django project, and this varies in various ways. You know what a command line utility is, right? Over here, we studied what a command line utility is. Yeah, this is it. A program or tool that allows users to interact with a computer operating system by typing text commands into a terminal, instead of using a graphical user interface. So manage.py, we just type some text, I guess, somehow. That's going to let us interact with the Django project. You can read all the details about manage.py and Django admin and manage.py. Okay, let's move on to the folder, my site. It is a directory, it's a folder. As you can see over here, this is my site. A folder directory that is the actual Python package for your project. its name is a Python package name. You'll need to use to import anything inside it. Example, my site URLs. Its name is a Python package name that you'll need to use to import anything inside it. My site.urls. Okay. That is the actual Python package for your project. So this is the actual Python package for my project, my site. /_ No. Is it called underscore or... I'm really sorry about this, but I need to clear this doubt. I might be... The correct term is... No, I meant underscope, bro, not sunderscope. Oh my gosh. The correct term is underscore. What is an underscore? Is a character used primarily. So I had a confusion about this word. I've been pronouncing it like this for I don't know how long. I don't even remember. Underscore. So the correct term is underscore. It's underscore. Yeah. That pie, an empty file. It is an empty file. And let's try to open it with code. It is an empty file. Indeed. That tells Python that this directory should be considered a Python package. If you are a Python beginner, read more about packages in the official Python documentation. My site /settings.py. This is it. Open with code. A lot of settings here. Settings / configuration for this Django project. Django settings will tell you all about how settings work. My site /urls.py. The URL declarations for this Django project. Let's open that up. URL declarations. Don't know anything about this right now. The URL declarations for this Django project, a table of contents. If your Django powered site, you can read more about URLs in URL Dispatcher. My site /asgi.py. Let's open that up as well. It's actually WSGI. I don't see, oh, it's over here. ASGI is here as well. An entry point for ASGI compatible web servers. To serve your project, see how to deploy with ASGI for more details. And then finally, you have my site /wsgi.py. Which is an entry point for WSGI compatible web servers. This is WSGI.py. To serve your project. Alright. Development server. Alright, so this is it for today. Because we need to read the files and understand each and every part of it. What everything does. Because that's the only way to learn. We can't just skip around all of this. There are so many files. I need to study, we need to study. So it's going to take some time for us, for everybody who's watching the video. And then we'll move forward. Hopefully. So yeah, hope you understood a lot. This is it for today. There's a lot to do. Yeah, good luck everybody, good luck, and have a good day. Have a beautiful day. All the best wishes for everybody. Thank you so much.